I love the sport. I love the characters within the sport. You hear Mike talk about the characters. I mean, that's what this sport is founded on. And if it's going to move on into the future for another 75 years, it's going to need those characters. So trying to build those names up into characters and the storylines within that, that's a challenge. It's fun. It's meaningful, and we take pride in being able to do that each and every week on all different types of racetracks. You know, a short track right here, it all started last year with a brand new race car, right? A brand new race car, never been done before, a brand new opportunity at a track at the LA Coliseum, a new market, a new track that we've never seen, way shorter, way out of bounds than we've ever seen, knocked it out of the park. The parity was here. I mean, look at last year's champion, Joey Logano, won this race, by the way. And then you look at Ross Chastain, missed the race and finished second in points. All across the board, saw a lot of wild stories, and you know, those again are the most fun things to cover. The booth mate, it's been fun. I came in with Jeff Gordon, chased his ass around the racetrack all these years, right? And you know, one would have thought that we hated one another, but we didn't. We really enjoyed one another off that racetrack. And once we got in the booth, had a lot of fun. But you know, over the course of last year, Mike and I enjoyed having different guys in the booth, such as Tony Stewart. I mean, a legend, right? It's so much fun to share, I guess, our experience from the booth, have those new guys in, and be able to ask questions and have a fresh, you know, perspective on what we're seeing. So it's been a lot of fun, man.
And Tony's not here for this race just because his number came up. We got to the end of last season and we told Jacob Ullman, who's VP in charge of talent development, how many races does Tony want to do, and then we'll figure out how we fill in the rest.
Yeah, no,
we're happy to have
we have. Yes, Tony, welcome back.
We got a lot on our plate this year, which we'll announce some of that in the next couple weeks. But it is fun to come back and work with this crew. I was talking to Mike on the ride over, and I remember last year on this day riding in the car, and I'm like, I was riding with you as well, and I'm like, I have no business doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why they hired me to do this. This is going to be a train wreck. And I had so much fun with it. The 3 races I got to do last year, and to get asked to come back this year and come with this crew. Got in the car this morning, and I'm like, man, I have really been looking forward to doing this. So this is a great family to work with. It's a bunch of professionals that have been around this sport a long time and know the ins and outs of the sport, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of this team and just be able to take our knowledge of what we know about the sport and help portray it to the fans.
Yeah. Being on Race Up, we have the chance to work with so many analysts that come in the studio, so many guys that are currently driving and currently serving as crew chiefs or have in the past, and they get to tell those stories, the history of the sport, and we get a front row seat to hear all of that and to almost feel like you were there for moments you weren't. And I think having this experience this year with the 75 and the celebration, you get to listen to all the stories from yesteryear and get to reflect on all that. And I think that's kind of the coolest part about what this season means, and being able to work with this team means as well.
On top of that, you've got new faces and new places, and I would say Kyle Busch had probably the best car here last year, and guess what? He's with a brand new team, and what does he want to prove? That he can win with another team. Even though there's no points on the line, Kyle Busch is going to be tough to beat.
Probably the most notable thing that's been changed, and I applaud NASCAR for what they've done here. You know, we had a couple of drivers that was under concussion protocol, most notably Kurt Busch that ended up retiring full-time from rear impacts. And even before that, NASCAR was working on trying to figure out exactly what to do with the car. And you know, a lot of people may say, well, just take some bars out, just make some bars thinner or weaker. Well, you've got 20 gallons of fuel back there and 4.5 gallons of oil. You could not compromise when it comes to oil and fuel. So they started doing testing. So most notably, the difference is at the rear of the chassis, in the bumper structure, where they've just basically taken some bars out. They've made some bars smaller. They've made the walls of some of the bars thinner, and it's just where it's not as rigid. It's more forgiving. It'll have more crush, which is what they needed to keep these drivers from having a hard impact when they back the car in the wall. Nothing you'll see when they're on the racetrack, but when back them in the wall, I don't think we're going to be holding our breath quite as much.